Hey everybody, it's Liberty Whispers here. I've not done a video for a little while, but I couldn't let one of my favourite, if not my all-time favourite holidays go by without doing a couple of special videos. I am big Halloween head, and I wanted to do a couple of videos for you guys over the next couple of days. So yeah, that's what's going on. Different types of things, as you'll see, but for this one I wanted to kind of have a little look at some local hauntings, some local sort of ghost stories that have taken place at two separate places in my local area, in my sort of local district. The first is a pretty short story, but it's the closest to me, and that is of an incident that happened at Carlisle Castle. Let me just find my page. Okay, so yeah, this is called The Scottish Lady of Carlisle Castle, and I'm just reading from the websites. I'll include the actual websites in the swimsuit area, the description box below, because there's all sorts of interesting stuff, so I'll throw them in there if you're interested in maybe finding some stuff that's maybe, I don't know, close to you, maybe in investigating your own sort of local hauntings. But this is The Scottish Lady of Carlisle Castle. More than 900 years old, Carlisle Castle is located in Cumbria, England, near the border with Scotland. Due to its location between neighbouring counties, it has a long and violent history, with ownership by the English and Scottish, changing numerous times throughout the years. The castle was used as a prison and barracks for the military. Its most famous prisoner, Mary Queen of Scots, was incarcerated within the castle in 1568. Today, the castle serves as a military headquarters to a royal regiment. However, there still remains a Scottish resident from long ago in the keep. In the 1830s, during the construction of a parade ground and barracks, demolition work uncovered the skeleton of a lady bricked into one of the keep's second-story walls. 3 rings upon the bony digits of her fingers and remnants of her silk tartan dress were evident. There were no clues to her identity, although there was a considerable speculation she may have been walled up alive. The opening of her tomb, however, appears to have roused her revenant, for in 1842 a sentry on guard duty in the keep challenged the figure of a woman who approached him in the early hours of one morning. As she ignored him, he shouted to rouse his fellow guardsmen. Then, raising his bayonet, he charged at the figure. Just as he reached her, the woman simply melted into thin air, whereupon the soldier fainted clean away. Although his comrades did manage to revive him, such was the shock to his system that, having told them what happened, he promptly fell back and died. So there you go. There probably are more stories to do with Carlisle Castle. You would imagine, considering, like I said, it's been a prominent sort of landmark in the ongoing wars from years ago between England and Scotland, and it is pretty creepy. It's been a while since I've been, but it is pretty creepy. Full of small, sort of dingy rooms, so I'm sure there's more than just that story. But the real one that I was interested in kind of reading to you guys is of a place called Dalston Hall, which is another old building. I think it's about 600 years old. And again, this was a prominent figure of the sort of ongoing wars between England and Scotland, and was passed across depending on who occupied the area. So it was kind of passed between English and Scottish gentry throughout the years. But in 1971 it was actually converted into a hotel from this gentry's house, this sort of gentry's property, into a hotel, and since then it's kind of got a bit of a reputation, like a real big reputation as a haunted place. I've not actually been, but it has crossed my mind to maybe investigate. Maybe that would make for an interesting video, I don't know. But I have a couple of stories here for you. Let me just find my place. Okay. The current entrance of Dalston Hall is actually the most modern, dating from 1899, but this hides a more ancient heart. The door into the hotel leads from bright sunshine to a subdued dimness. All around dark wood panelling makes the place intimate and yet strange. Passing into the hotel from the reception, you go past the stairs and into the manorial hall. The hall dates from around 1500 and an inscription reads, "John Dalston Elizabeth, my wife, Mad is building." The letters are in Gothic script and curiously in reverse. Above the manorial hall is a gallery. It is here that the oldest ghost, known to the staff as Lady Jane, can be seen. She appears in Tudor dress and may well be one of the Dalston families who owned the hall for such a long time. Room 4 is said to be haunted by a poor maid who threw herself from the Peely Tower above, and it has an original fireplace with ingle nooks to either side. One of the staff and her partner stayed there one night and both tossed and turned. She told me that she had a strong feeling of presence in the right-hand ingle nook, as if someone were carefully watching as she slept. One guest came down in the morning and asked to be moved from room 4. She said that she woke up to hear her dog growling at the door. He kept growling on and off all night, though there was no one there to be seen. She said that she herself had felt a presence in the room. Room 12 is perhaps the most interesting. It has half a bathroom. It is difficult to see this from the inside, but if you go outside the hall and look into the bathroom window, you will see that the room has been cut in half with a false wall. The other half of the bathroom in faded decor is visible from outside, but there is no way to get to it without knocking a hole into the new wall. Room 12 has a lovely view of the gardens, perhaps the best view of any room in the hotel. It also has a 4-poster bed. People who have slept in the room, not everyone, but a significant number over the years have complained of being woken by girls' voices, whispering. It is said that they are completely benevolent, as if they are just having a giggly time. The trouble is, there is nobody actually there. Mr. Fingernails in the cellar. There have been various stories of barrels moving in the cellar and sightings of workmen. Even ghostly workmen handing tools to real workmen. But these can be put down to the handyman below. 2 psychics have independently described an entity that is non-human and appears to them as a black fog. It appears to have something protruding from its forehead, which has been described by one psychic as a hat, though the other disagreed. They did agree that it could move fast, moving through floors, and had long fingers with long weird fingernails, and liked to loom over people to scare them. The handyman. The handyman lives in the cellar with Mr. Fingernails, though whether they get on is unknown. He is described as having tweed or check trousers, being big and physical. He enjoyed his job with the barrel so much he never wanted to leave. It is a physical job, but he's proud of being the breadwinner and a real man. Or was he? He has a significant armband on his right arm which is to do with his job. Maybe a badge of rank. He also has a horse with long hair on its fetlocks, so I guess he's some kind of drayman. Girls being dragged by their hair. This poor girl, who is described as having a pale face, possibly powdered, was seen being dragged by her hair, beaten up, raped, and possibly thrown out of the window to her death by a burly man dressed in leather. We have no idea of the period for this, but it could be the 1500s. Psychics felt she was a courtesan or floozy. This scene happened in the corridor outside rooms 4, 5, and 6. And finally, sad Emily. This poor girl stands by the window in room 4 gazing south. 3 psychics have independently felt great sadness here, and 2 of them reported the sensation that the girl had looked out of the window thousands of times. She is described as having a headdress like a bonnet, but more in the style of a headband. With flowers and frills in white cotton, it holds her head back. Her waist is drawn in tightly as if by stays. She has a ring on her finger. It is felt that perhaps she is pining for a man who never returned. It's been reported that an older lady comes in at night to check if she is all right. So there you go, just a few of the notorious characters that allegedly haunt Dalston Hall. It's certainly an interesting place, and as I said, I'll leave the websites I've used to read from down in the description box, so if you want to go check a little bit more out and read a bit more in detail of places like Dalston Hall, or you yourself want to look for places nearby that may be of haunted history in your local area, that's if you're in the UK, of course, then go for it. But there you go, just a few local haunted stories for you.